Apart from the fucked face.
And then, I get up, right? I looked in the mirror, bro, and I'm like, oh! It was so fucked. I was like Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, man.
It was like this eye was like this.
Yeah.
My head was like, my jaw was like, my teeth, like the fucking, and the blood still, like they hadn't cleaned the blood, like they just like, he was drunk, he was, like the doctor came in, he's like, you really, he's like, you survived 14 meters, you have no spinal damage, you have no brain damage.
Imagine if you went head straight down.
He's like, the fact that you broke your jaw is a fucking miracle.
I'm like, look at my face! G'day, gang, and welcome to episode 1 of Fully Whole Human Discussions, a place where we talk about positive mental health, overcoming adversity, and have a bloody laugh while we're doing it. I'm here with my mate Jeff Lobb, who's going to tell us one hell of a story. So stick around. This is going to be full on, but epic, and it's got a wonderful ending to it as well. Also, Fully Whole Human Discussions is brought to you by Book Club Audio, the home of Australian stories in audio format. So if you love good Aussie stories, head on over to Book Club Audio and check it out and support Aussie artists, narrators and authors in one go. All right, let's get into it.
I was just like, I don't give a fuck, I'm part of the cool kids, I'm playing in bands and, DJing at the clubs and like just taking fucking every drug I could get my hands on, getting fucked up as possible. And I, it was cool all the time, and just abusing my body to the extent. And people would always be like, you're fucking out of control, you're crazy.
You're wild, you're crazy. When really all I wanted to do was just not miss out. I had the greatest FOMO ever.
Well, I think we all do at that age, but for me, I just wanted to be a part of something. I was doing my acting because I'd already drove my car into a power pole at 17. And my Air Force pilot dream went out the window. So then I was like, well, I'm going to pursue my arts. So I was doing my acting and working within the industry, doing the staging and concerts and events, and, all that kind of stuff. And then classic Jeff pushes it too hard and ends up jumping off a balcony, falling 3 stories and breaking my jaw in the midst of a...
Well, do you want to roll back and unpack that for us?
Yeah, so I decided that I was going to really give acting a proper red hot go because I was like, I'm pretty confident I'm reasonably good looking enough and I feel like I've got...
For a crook looking cunt.
Yeah, I look pretty average. But...
Fucking hell, average. Walk us through it, man. Let's take your time and let us... So you've got the call up, you've put your audition into NIDA, they've said, come on in for an audition.
Right, so from the beginning,
the
year before, I decided no, I'm going to go for the full time auditions
for the game,
as you know what they're like.
Oh yeah, of course.
Contemporary piece, Shakespeare's piece. And I was pretty confident. I didn't really do enough practice for the auditions, but
no one ever does, dude.
You think you're better than you are, then you turn up.
It's all about my look.
Oh, and then there's a bunch of wankers and then they do the dancing routine, like everyone turn into a tree, and you're like, oh my god, and that's what they judge you on. I found a lot. It's like this bullshit wanker confidence attitude.
Well, back in the 90s, one of the talks to the students was, you're the best of the best. No one is any better than you. Don't ever accept anyone telling you you're not the better, blah, blah, blah. And what a fucking speech. You pump enough bullshit up people's asses to say you're the best of the best. That is not...
And they paint this picture that it's guaranteed that you're going to become a famous actor full-time.
There is no guarantee of that.
The whole arts world is not like that at all.
No, it's not.
As you know a lot more than me. But my experience was that I did the auditions and I realised that I wasn't really up to speed. So the next year I I was obviously working full time, and at the time I
In
was
in bars?
no, I was working in the staging job.
Oh,
So
true. I
was working in Erskineville, but I was living in the Blue Mountains, and then clubbing every weekend.
Lower mountains or upper mountains? We won't go there.
Horizontal waterfall.
Horizontal across it.
It's an in-joke.
Yeah.
So I was driving, into work, and then I had part-time acting class at Actors Centre in Surrey Hills.
Sure.
So I was doing 3 nights a week there, and that was the part-time program, which went for 6 months. Which my acting went right. They were great there.
How old were you? 20, early 20s? 21.
Yeah.
So you were primed.
Yeah. So I was exhausted, and then I'd finish there. I'd go to the gym, then I'd go to acting class, like it'd be 4:30 to 7:30, and then drive home back to the mountains to mum's, and then.
What were you driving at the time? Do you remember?
I had my black Volkswagen Golf. I bought off my Lebo boss.
Diesel or
Petty. Straight 6. Lowered. Full leb spec.
full leb spec?
Like the AMG.
Did it have a subby in the back?
It did. It was sick, bro.
Hang on, 90s. What were you, 90s or early 2000s?
2000s. This is 2000.
Was there a wild 2003
I'm
album?
not as old as you, mate.
What was this? What was the song you were listening? What was the fat beat?
Oh, there would have been. It would have been like no presets.
I need a pill and I'm
No,
dying.
that's you.
Fuck off.
It was like that was when the presets were big. Midnight Juggernauts.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Ba, ba, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Back when I had the Datsun 180B
Like
with the,
Banshee.
I didn't have a subby. I had 2 Panasonic house speakers I built my own shelf.
Panasonic house speakers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
No wonder I cooked
Budget
the alternator.
direct.
Yeah, but we were lining up. My mate and I, Peter Jones, we were lining up. Yeah, it was terrible. We thought we were the coolest kids ever. We sound like fucking. We're trying to.
Well, I was looking. Yeah, my car was a bit different.
Anyway, so you got the Golf. You're listening to the presets. You've got your audition lined up for NIDA, and what happens? What happened the night before?
Well, what happened is I went into those auditions and I smashed the Actors Centre audition out of the room. I know I did. I knew I. You know when you go in, and I did the NIDA one too, and I actually got a call back for both.
Of course you did.
So I had the.
Because you're a good-looking rooster. Look at
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, thanks. Well, mate,
Still got it.
yeah, I got it. My hairline's moved to my fucking back, unfortunately. But apart from that, I'm all right.
Yeah, mine's in my ass. That's all right. Beard.
Anyway,
But
line it up, mate. Let us.
So yeah, long story short, I was staying at my mate's place in Erskineville. We had a work Christmas party so I had the audition for the NIDA one in the morning. So I did the audition, smashed it. I knew I did. I was pretty confident, and we're sitting. And I had my Christmas party like that morning. All the boys were already there. And
What, in the morning of your
it started
audition?
like-
The night before, you mean?
No. It started at like 10, 11 in the morning. But I had my audition at 10, I think it was, in the morning. So they'd already started at the Christmas party.
Right.
Right? And so I went to the pub across the road. So
Yeah.
we're all at Donny, and everyone's like, you come out like best friends, and everyone's like, oh, I did really well, and like, how did you go? And like, everyone's like fake bullshit.
Yeah, I'll never see you again.
Yeah, it's
I've
like-
not seen one of those people.
I don't love you. Anyway, they start doing, they do the callbacks pretty quick, and
Yeah, right. On the same day, so you'd already done first rounds of auditions, and they
'Cause we got through the seconds.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then so I got a call saying they wanted us to come back again
Yeah,
in front of the other guys
on that day or
on the day,
Oh, true. Okay.
and they must have just gone through the process. I don't know, quickly that day.
Well, they're like, oh, it's pretty quick. It's like you look good.
They made
You
a
can
decision.
act. You look
And-
It's you know what? It's more like you look like a marketable product. Get him in quick.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're a good actor or not.
Well,
But you
exactly.
happen to have both
Thank-
of the factors. Anyway, so what happened?
I was like, see you later.
I'm out.
Good luck.
Let's go have some fucking piss.
I went to the Christmas party and
hang on. Did they ask you back to do a
not then.
Not
I'm
that
there.
day.
No,
Right.
You come back later on.
You're like, see you, cunt,
later.
sweet, I'm out.
Anyway, so, yeah, went to the Christmas party, got absolutely classic Jeff fuck-eyed.
Fuck-eyed.
And I had
on the gear or just on the piss back then?
Oh, pingers, everything.
Well, that would have been the early 2000s, so...
Yeah.
MDMA,
the good ones.
I used it as...
It's an antiseptic.
No, antidepressant. I reckon I used early 2000 MDMA, well, ecstasy specifically, as an antidepressant. Anyway, we'll move on from that. So you went and partied on.
Well, yeah, I just stepped it up that night because I'd put the work in. You know, it was one of those moments where I was like, wow, I actually got something out of the hard work the last year I put in.
Like, certainly. And you would have been 10 foot tall and bulletproof when you walked out of there. Of course, charged up.
And I knew I'd smashed it. I knew every single word. I didn't even need to think about the lyric, the
lines.
Words. I was just like,
nailed it.
Bang.
Yeah. Well, you got invited back.
And you know what I always would say before I turned, you know, because you have to go up, especially at Actors Centre, they call your name and you go up and there's 50 other people judging you, you know, or the other people that are watching you.
Oh, the other actors? Fuck them, man. They're just as freaked out as everyone else.
Or you're in the circle of people at NIDA, you're in the circle, and you got to go up and do your audition in front of the judges as well. And I always just like go into a quick moment and I'm like, how would drunk Jeff do this? Because at the time, you know, because when you are drunk, you don't
just like
give a fuck. You will go off to do, you'll do crazier things than you wouldn't because you don't care. You're not scared about judgment, right?
Sure, I'd argue that being drunk isn't the best way to do it, but sure.
No, not like as in drunk, as in like how would you focus, like how would you not give a fuck and just act?
Well, how would you not give a fuck now?
I wouldn't look at it like that.
I just wouldn't give a fuck.
I just wouldn't give a fuck.
If you're judging me, go eat a dick. I don't care.
Exactly. Well, no, this is what happened. The night audition fell through because I had an accident that night.
Well, it didn't fall through. It hasn't fallen through yet.
No, the Actors Centre one was the one that actually kept me on board. So that night, when I went to the Christmas party...
Yeah.
So obviously I'm over the moon and fucked up.
10 foot tall and bulletproof.
And I was meant to be staying at my mate's in Erskineville that night, and that night had gone on because I was like, I'm top of the world. I'm going to be a famous.
Lobb,
I'm going to be a famous actor. You know. Yeah. I'm going to make it. You know.
Yeah, I've already made it.
Yeah. And anyway, my mate called me. He had these two girls at this hotel.
Only two.
Yeah.
Only one hotel?
Yeah.
Or it's 7 girls at 3 hotels.
Yeah.
Now go on. Yeah, so what happened?
So I caught a cab over there and I turned up and there was like one girl there with him and I'm like, oh, this is weird. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this. Yeah.
Yeah, so then I left and then I realised when I got out the front I was so fucked up that I left my phone.
Oh, so you went into the house, into the hotel.
Yeah,
and there's
like, I've got to go
a
back.
Dude and a chick.
Yeah,
and you thought it was going to be like a dude and maybe 5 chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, I'm going back to my mate's in Erskineville. Like, I've got the
I'm out.
festival
This is
tomorrow,
weird. See ya.
You know. And
you get out the front, and what happened?
Get out the front. I realised I left my phone in the apartment. So,
what did you do?
Me being fucked up. Looked up and...
did you try buzzing first?
I tried buzzing. No one
Yeah. We've been there.
I couldn't remember the number though in this room.
You're like... And then what...
I'd climbed.
Yeah, you think, I've done it so many times, man. It's like, I can get up there.
I got up.
And you did.
3 stories. Walking along, glass, awning.
Hang on, what? You climbed up 3...
I had pinger strength, bro.
Pinger vision and pinger strength.
I literally stepped up onto the there's a garden bed and then there's the glass awning for the first floor, and I jumped up and walking along the garden bed, and I looked up and I'm like, I can jump and get that. So I jumped and I grabbed it.
Who are you?
And I pulled myself up. and I started walking.
I can do it. Oh my God.
I can do it.
Yeah.
And then I was walking.
What was that cliffhanger?
Yeah. It was literally like a...
Yeah, it's Arnie doing cliffhanger. But anyway, yeah, so you've seen your shot and you've made the jump.
Because I was like looking up and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's his apartment, like 3 stories up. And I'm like, all right. So I figured out I could somehow, I'm like stumbling around, but I was high as fuck. I had about 6 pingers, you know.
Early 2000 pingers. So
and so you're really fucking...
Oh, yeah. They were the goods back. Yeah, not like cats
green
these
apples
days.
or something, you know. Like,
green apples, white mitsies.
Yeah. Oh,
Supermen.
they'll send you. They'll send you.
One will send you. Oh, I've had 6.
Full-blown brain damage.
Yeah. But I'm ready to climb. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, so then I pulled myself up. I always remember it being like frosty and cold for some reason. And I was walking along.
It must have been in winter then, right?
No, it was just the middle of the night. It was like 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning or something.
Well, that would be the middle of the night, sure.
Yeah.
See what you did there. So you're climbing up 3 stories.
Well, then I jumped up the next one. And then I jumped up the next one. And then I'm walking along and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is his apartment. Like, I was fully confident. So I've just stepped over into this balcony and opened the door, and there's all these Asians there asleep, and then they started screaming, and I'm like, oh, what are you saying? I'm like, oh, fuck. And
fuck, wrong apartment.
So I've jumped. So what I didn't realise, because I hadn't taken notice being fucked up, I've jumped in like this side of the apartment, opened the door, and then jumped and freaked out and just jumped out the opposite side of the balcony, thinking that the glass that I was walking on was still there. But
makes sense, sure.
But it actually finished. So I've jumped out diagonally and just missed the whole glass.
So what happened?
I fell 2 stories and smashed through the first floor glass awning.
So there's a glass awning under that.
Well, 2 stories down, yeah. So
and you've gone through that. Feet first or something?
Feet first. Somehow, what I do as a trade now, being a glazier.
Oh, you must have known because you're a glazier,
well,
this glass.
I wasn't then. But, like, somehow missed the 2, like, rails that would have been held. I must have landed straight in the middle of the glass. The whole glass is shattered. Then I've smashed... and then flipped over and smashed and landed on my face on the gutter.
Hang on, slow down. You've gone through the glass, feet first, your body's pivoted.
And then face first into the gutter. Like
face first.
American History X style. Whole jaw went into my head. Yeah.
Bite the gutter.
Yeah, I felt my whole face go like that. My tooth went into my, into the top of my...
cerebellum.
the parabellum.
Oh, Jeff.
And I didn't get knocked out. Everything slowed.
Hang on, so you've hit the ground jaw first
and shoulder first, yeah. Like it somehow flipped me. I don't know how that happened. It's weirded me out to this day, because I know I landed feet first, because I remember letting go of the balcony and going, or your brain goes into overload. You're like, everything slows down. Like, I truly believe you can slow time down.
Oh, time
I've
can
had
dilate,
I've had it happen
certainly.
twice, and this is the second time, but everything slowed down. I remember thinking, this is really going to hurt. You're probably going to break both your legs. You are Superman. I don't know why I thought I was Superman, but then I was like... I remember the
2003 pingers will do that to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I hit the glass. That happened really quickly, so I went bang, hit the glass, and then
like straight through it.
The flip onto my face into the gutter, like literally into a gutter, like jaw first, like right there. Like I broke my jaw in like 5 places. There. That was split in half, like your ball and socket joint was gone. A tooth in my face.
Why is my eye itchy? Oh, I've got my molar that's just like pushing to there.
Yeah, and then
True. So what happened? Did you stand straight up, or did you just?
I remember pushing off the ground really slowly, and everything was like slow motion. The glass was like,
Oh yeah, of course, the shatter of the glass
because it's safety glass, it'll blow.
Yeah.
Which it shouldn't have broken actually. Now that I know, but it should have taken. But it's good that it did because it would have broken.
Nothing can take your impact.
My legs would have gone into my spine at that height, like of the fall.
Right.
So it kind of softened my fall, but then that fall from there onto the ground,
onto your jaw,
my jaw.
So you've gone legs flipped head first into the concrete.
Yeah. And
then
I
what
felt
did you
all
have to
my
do
teeth
the
go
next day?
squelchy. I felt like, and I got up and there was just blood and teeth. I punctured a lung too. So
You punctured a lung. How?
because of the impact, because of my shoulder hit.
Oh, broke a rib that just went
It
into
didn't
your
break
lung.
a rib, but it just fucking did massive bruising and.
Oh
punctured
wow!
a
Well,
lung.
that's more energy. The energy of the fall.
Yeah, like the actual.
Yeah, you
impact.
didn't break a rib that shot into your lung. You just broke
Yeah.
the energy. Just holy shit!
The sheer force of it. And yeah, I got up and I'm walking around the street.
Looking like
And it's
fucking
fucking
the Elephant
crazy
Man.
because I look up and these Asians are looking over and they're like, "Oh my god!" And I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
Because you're in shock, man. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't feel pain. At no point did I feel pain. It's
Wow.
you just don't believe it's happening. Your brain tells you this isn't happening. This is not happening.
so. But it was happening. So
was
what?
definitely
So what
happening.
happened? They must have called the cops on you or something,
Ambulance
right?
came, cops came, everyone came.
And you're just sitting in the gutter going.
I was walking around the street like blood all like covered, like
Oh,
blood
just been
all
a
down my
horror
shirt,
movie.
like whole teeth, like all my face covered in blood, big black fucking eye, like my whole head looked like a soccer
Two
ball.
stories onto your face.
Well, they said it was 14 meters, at least.
That is 42 feet.
Yeah. And
14,
they had
it's 14 minutes. Hang on. 14.
times it by 3.
14,
essentially.
28, 42. Mate, Taj Burrow wouldn't take have you seen the surfer, Taj Burrow, when he gets stuck on Chopu, right?
Yeah.
He gets fucking slammed onto the reef and the jet ski comes in to pick him up and they're both like, oh, I've got you, Taj. Did you get on the back? And he's like,
Yeah.
and they go to pull off, but all the water sucks off the reef.
Oh, yeah.
And the jet ski's just sitting on the reef going, blah, and nothing's coming out the back of Taj. And they're both as a fucking a wave as big as you just said just comes up and just goes.
No, it was
That's
such a hectic experience because in the ambulance, that's when I've had that twice, once before that with my car crash, but and this is what.
Fuck, we'll get there. Let's just stick with this.
But you're in shock, so you don't, like I say, you don't believe it's happening. You believe.
Jaw broken 5 places.
Well, you
teeth.
can't speak. It's so funny when you break your jaw because you cannot move your mouth, which is the weirdest experience. Your jaw's just like, So I'm in my head. I'm like, I just got to get back to my mates in Erskineville. Like, I'm going to Stereosonic. I've got.
Oh, we're going to a party tomorrow. Yeah.
And I'm like, this isn't happening. Like, I've just done all my acting auditions. Like, everything's going great, And my girlfriend at the time, poor girl, she was a lovely girl. My first proper girlfriend.
Yeah.
She was back at home.
She didn't know how much of a fucking carnage merchant you were.
Oh, she figured it out eventually.
They always do.
But she was a beautiful person. We was never
They
meant
always
for each
are.
other.
Yeah.
But anyway, no one knew where I was. No one knew what had happened. And they somehow got my ID because I didn't have my phone, obviously.
Where was it? Up with the Asians upstairs.
Where I'd left it at my mate's place.
That's
the whole reason why I went back up there. That's the whole reason
you climbed up all there, because you left your phone in your mate's... fuck.
A $20 phone.
A burner fucking Nokia 3210.
It was.
It would have survived the crash. You could have thrown it off the balcony, it would have gone... and you could have fucking put it back together.
Yeah.
But you Humpty Dumpty'd yourself hard.
Yeah. And then...
Fuck me dead.
Yeah, and then you go back to the hospital. I went back to RPA.
In Camperdown?
Yeah, and they treated me like absolute shit because I was drunk. Because I was another drunk.
You're off tap,
Another drunk dickhead that's had an accident,
Broken his jaw in 5 places and pushed his teeth into his esophagus.
Yeah, and what happened, it was torture, man. So I had to go nil by mouth, so I had nothing...
Maybe a sex tape.
No, fuck yeah. But I wasn't allowed any liquids orally for 24 hours. But I had all this dried blood and all my teeth and all my mouth. It was like my tongue. You wake up with a bad hangover?
No, I have no idea.
No, you don't know what that is? Yeah, I don't either. I just know from that experience. People have told me.
Yeah.
But, all dry, my whole tongue was blood because I had an IV giving me, hydrating me. But
is that what it was doing?
Well, I don't know what it was doing.
You give us another 3 pingers in the arm, I reckon we'll be sweet. Yeah, no, so they've IV'd you.
Oh, they were just, and my mum.
Did you deserve it? Do you think you deserved their treatment?
No, they were fucking horrible. They were really, really cruel to me. Not in the emergency.
Cruel or just...
Not in the emergency. The emergency was good, but my mum and my dad came in. It was...
Oh, and how old are you? 22, 23?
I was 21, 22, yeah.
Oh.
22.
And you got no memory of what's happened to you? You're just waking up in carnage.
No, I knew exactly what had happened.
Oh, you remember it?
You remember. Because you go into shock and your adrenaline spikes and all the drugs and all the alcohol go out. You're in focus mode, you are in a different realm because your body's in panic. You feel no pain. You are just what is going on? Everything gets ejected, flushed. It's a weird thing. Your brain just is no, this is not happening. What is going on? This can't be happening. I'm not feeling no, this didn't happen. This didn't happen.
No, of course this didn't happen.
Then you start to go into shock, and then you start crying. And I was like,
I know that place.
Mum turns up, and then because I was in the back of the ambulance, I'm like,
when you saw your mum, is that when you?
No, they called my mum in at 4 a.m.
From the mountains.
Yeah, she drove in. They finally figured out who I was because I didn't have my phone on me.
Of course,
they couldn't get. I think I had my ID on me. They didn't have anyone to contact.
It could have been a John Doe.
I think I might have given them my mum's mobile, in the ambulance, maybe, because you just do remember that stuff.
Sure.
They were there, and then everyone's crying. Everyone's and in the back of your head, you kind of no, I'm not dying here. I'm not this.
Yeah, I'm not dead.
Okay. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. Anyway, I got wheeled back to my room.
I'm fine as I get wheeled back to my room.
Wheeled back, and everyone's looking at me
oh my God. Jeff.
Right. Because I was looking...
I'm like, oh, my boy.
I was looking pretty good at that point, right?
Apart from the fucked face.
And then, I get up, right? I looked in the mirror, bro, and I'm like, oh! It was so fucked. I was Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, man.
It was this eye was like this.
Yeah.
And my head was my jaw was my teeth, the fucking, and the blood still, they hadn't cleaned the blood, they just, he was drunk, he was, the doctor came in, he's you really, he's you survived 14 meters, you have no spinal damage, you have no brain damage.
Imagine if you went head straight down.
He's like, the fact that you broke your jaw is a fucking miracle.
I'm like,
look at my face!
face!
I'm an actor.
I've got an audition at night next week.
I'll fucking sort this out now.
Oh, mate, stitch me up. Get me back in there. Tom Cruise could have done it. He could have landed on his head and still finished the shot and come out going, new Colgate toothpaste. You know, it would look fine. Yeah. That's so fucking heavy. Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
You get out of hospital the next day. Well, the thing is, you still got your audition you still got to get to your next audition at NIDA.
So they found out.
Well, you would have had to. They wouldn't have just. It wasn't on the news.
They cancelled it. They just said, "Nah, okay, well, sorry."
I see, but you would have had to reach out to them and say,
"I got my mum to."
Oh, you got mum.
Yeah, and then.
I would have done the same thing. I would have said, "Mum, help me."
But Actors Centre, they actually put my audition back 5 weeks because they had time.
Hang on. Let me just. So you had an audition. You'd pass your auditions at NIDA and at the Actors Centre, ready to go for both. You'd been called back for both.
Yeah, yeah.
And this serious thing's happened.
Yeah.
And how many days, weeks after the accident were each of the auditions?
Well, the NIDA one was 2 weeks from memory, or a week.
No chance getting to that.
And then the Actors Centre was like 3 or 4 weeks.
How long did it take you to recover from that facial injury?
It was going to take way longer than that.
Yeah, no shit.
So I was
8 months, 6 months.
Well, Actors Centre
healing, not
healing, proper healing. It was 6 months.
Psychological healing.
Not as long. It was more just getting over the fact that I fucked everything up.
Oh, dude, that would take me a lifetime.
And having to again look at what alcohol did, even though we're having a beer now, and I still do.
Yeah.
And it still caused dramas.
Fuck me dead. Okay, so Mum sorted out all those chats, or did you talk to the people?
No, I couldn't talk. My mouth was wide shut. I had to go through weeks of
physio.
They wanted what they wanted to do. They wanted to put me through the public process, and just put me through to some dude to fix my face up because the break.
Just their mate in the back alleys of Sydenham.
Well, it's different.
You got to go to this warehouse. He's going to wire your jaw shut, like fucking.
Yeah, if you just get if I punch you in the face and break your jaw, let's go to a public hospital. They'll fix it. It's just a fracture, But I had fracture here,
5 facial fractures.
Clean break.
Hang on, clean break in the centre.
I've got a
so where do you think where did you hit the ground on your face? Do you think?
Right there.
Really?
Right there, because my collarbone here is still out of place a little bit. Well, I've got a lump here from when it must have the pressure.
14 metres in front of an Asian family.
That poor family.
Can you imagine? What about them? They're like, we're going to sue you because you fuck us for life.
Oh, that's a different story. I got sued later. Don't worry about that.
You got sued by them later?
Not by them, but by the by Allianz Insurance.
The strata of the people that had fuck those cunts, man. The strata. They're like, this guy fucked himself up.
Well, yeah, that's a completely.
That Asian family didn't see $1 of that. They had nothing to do with that. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So you had to call NIDA and say, I'm in for my next shot. Can't do it. And Actors Centre, same thing.
Actors Centre. Well, I knew Dean Carey, the director of ACA, who I'd done all my short courses there with, and he must have liked me enough.
You're a likeable guy.
And he'd seen me do my final shows there and my acting part-time there and the theatre stuff we did. They put because the auditions were in October, November. Usually, I think that was late November. But the callbacks always go back to into December, January.
Sure. Sure. For the intake for the next year.
Yeah, for the next year, and then the intake starts in February, March.
So did you get pushed? Did they push you back?
Me right back.
Well,
to
the how far does a jaw reconstruction take?
Yeah, so
it's can you a couple of weeks, 3 weeks? You're like, can you push me back 8 months?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they pushed you back as long as they could.
Yeah. So
and then what happened?
I went back.
You went back.
I got out of because I was in the braces. Like I finally got a proper, really expensive surgeon to do my facial reconstruction.
Well, you don't want to get a cheap surgeon.
Yeah, basically.
It's like, oh, hello, mate. I do the deconstruction for you.
Yeah. Well, that's what they were sending me to.
Really?
Like some of the people, they're like, oh, we just put you under, we fix your face, and they're like, and then this guy's like,
like Tom Cruise in Minority Report when he gets his fake eyeballs put in.
yeah, literally like that.
It's like, I don't want that.
No.
It's like, you want to get into NIDA? I'll take the eyeball guy.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. And so what's that? 6 months later?
No, it wasn't 6 months later. Would have been. So I had the operation probably 2 weeks after the incident, the bigger operation. Then I was in. My mouth was wide shut for like, I think it was 8 or 9 weeks.
Fucking
to
hell.
heal. So I just couldn't. You can't open your mouth like that. Like I had rubber bands. It wasn't wide shut, but like there's sort of braces, and they rubber band your jaw shut. And because I lost the tooth there, which I still haven't.
You lost one tooth out of that whole experience.
Oh yeah, but a lot of these I got some. They're not. They're capped. Some of them.
You fell 14 metres and lost one tooth, and the rest got a couple of caps.
Yeah.
You got lucky as fuck.
Well, yes.
Fucking, if that was me, I would have landed like. I'd have come out going
like a full blown road bike, high speed. No helmet.
Rotten.com kind of shit. Fuck, you were so lucky, dude.
I was.
The thing is, did you get your shot after
I got my shot, but my face was still a bit swollen, and I think one of the other things I really regret about that shot they gave me, the night before I went to my friend's place and had a fair few beers.
The night before your next audition?
Yeah. Because I hadn't been drinking.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I went to the audition. It was 9 o'clock in the morning, but I did feel a little bit hungover, but...
Oh, hang on. Let me get this right. So all this has happened. They've given you your next shot to come back.
It was like 12 weeks later, yeah.
And you had your shot, and you went and got pissed the night before and went in a bit seedy.
Yeah.
And you could have, if you had done it.
But my face was still swollen, and because my mouth had been shut so long, my muscles, like, it's hard to work your mouth.
Yeah, of course.
So I couldn't open my mouth as much.
Yeah, you went in under the...
But they gave, and I didn't
make it. Didn't get through.
And then, I suppose, after that, that's when I sort of...
How many years ago was that, Jeff?
How old am I? 13 years ago.
13 years ago. What happened today?
I got an audition for another commercial.
Of course you did. Welcome back.
Welcome back, mate. I'm back, mate.
Totally.
And it's a different approach this time,
It is. Of course it is.
Back then it was... look. You really... Those experiences, for me, were fucking scary as fuck. And then, as we go through this podcast, everyone will hear about my other experiences. But
I'm sure. And mine too.
And yours.
That's pretty amazing. Thanks for sharing, dude.
Thank you for asking and listening. But
sorry, what was that?
For asking and listening.
I heard you.
No, thanks.
Wow, well, fuck me. That was one hell of a story. But what an ending, hey? Thanks so much, Jeff. Really appreciate your time. All right, we'll see you on the next episode of Fully Whole Human Discussions, brought to you by Book Club Audio.